10 incredible facts about the ocean. Throughout history, the ocean has played a significant role in shaping the Earth's ecosystems, weather patterns, and human history. It has served as a consistent resource provider, a gateway for exploration and trade, and a boundless source of inspiration for adventurers, artists, and dreamers alike. However, despite its importance, the majority of the ocean's depths remain uncharted, untouched, and unseen by humans. According to the National Ocean Service, less than 10% of the ocean has been mapped, and even when limited to the U.S. coast, that number only increases to 35%. This leaves much to the imagination, but the small portion that humans have explored is enough to leave us in awe. Here are 10 fascinating facts about the ocean. Number 10. The Atlantic Ocean is growing. The ocean floor is home to a massive crack where the Earth's crust is constantly being created in a violent process. This area is known as the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, where magma rises and cools, pushing aside older crust and leaving younger crust in its wake. The ridge serves as a continental plate divorce court, with the Eurasian and North American plates splitting in the northern hemisphere. The African and South American plates are equally energetic in separating below the equator, causing the ridge to widen up to 2 inches, 5 centimeters, annually. While the width is impressive, the length of the Mid-Atlantic Ridge is what truly matters. Although it boasts nearly 10,000 ridge-filled miles, 16,093 kilometers, it is only a part of the global mid-ocean ridge system, which measures 40,390 miles, 65,001 kilometers, and is the planet's largest geological feature, almost twice as long as the Earth's equator. Apart from volcanic eruptions and earthquakes, scientists have discovered vast hydrothermal fields in the region with periodic vent fluid releases, creating underwater hot springs. Fortunately, you don't need to be in a submarine to experience parts of the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. This mountain range is sometimes tall enough to create volcanic islands, including Ascension Island, St. Helena, and Iceland. Number 9. Plummet into the Challenger Deep. At the bottom of the Mariana Trench lies a place called Challenger Deep, which is the deepest known point on Earth, reaching over 35,760 feet, 10,900 meters. It's like the Grand Canyon and Mount Everest combined and then on steroids. Only a handful of people have ever been there, and until 2019, only 3 people had taken the journey to the Challenger Deep's floor. The first manned expedition was in 1960 when Don Walsh and Jacques Piccard became the first to conquer the Challenger Deep for about 30 minutes. 52 years later, James Cameron dived solo into this chasm in a submarine he helped design. He spent a few hours searching the bottom, only to return with a small silt sample. Since 2019, more frequent expeditions have been launched, including astronaut Catherine D. Sullivan and mountaineer Vanessa O'Brien, who became the first woman to reach this extreme frontier. The record for the most dives there is held by Victor Vescovo, with an astonishing total of 15 descents. One surprising thing we've learned from exploring Challenger Deep is that it's not the silent wasteland Cameron described as being featureless and devoid of life except for small amphipods. Instead, scientists have found constant noise from earthquakes, whales, and ship propellers. The depths are also home to some truly bizarre animals like the dragonfish. Number 8. You should fear its watery depths more than infinite space. Almost 10% of people have thalassophobia, the fear of the ocean, and for good reason. The ocean can hide its dangers right below your feet. But is it really worse than space? According to a survey of experts, yes, it's much scarier. Summer Ash, a Columbia University astrophysicist, said, "The ocean is scarier by far. In space, only physics wants to kill you, but in the ocean, it's physics plus biology." The pressure at the deepest part of the ocean is over 16,000 psi, more than 1,000 times the pressure we feel at sea level. To help you imagine, take the biggest male elephant you can imagine and put all its weight on your thumb. Almost everything else is trying to kill you, even if you take the pressure out of the equation. You can't drink the water, which will cause hypothermia, and many animals can send you to a watery grave. To sum up, space is deadly and will kill you quickly. The ocean, on the other hand, can either kill you quickly or slowly while providing you with a false sense of hope. Number 7. Secret rivers, the ultimate aquatic inception. Just imagine scuba diving and stumbling upon a real river flowing on the seafloor. That's exactly what happened to Anatoly and his friends while they were diving in Mexico, and they named it Cote Angelita. It's located near Tulum, Mexico, and it's complete with trees and leaves drifting along the ocean floor. This incredible discovery doesn't seem to be a fluke occurrence, as teams around the globe have found underwater rivers in the Black Sea and off the coasts of Australia and Portugal. A team led by Dr. Dan Parson from the University of Leeds discovered the river at the bottom of the Black Sea, while robots found the river near Australia. These amazing discoveries have scientists around the world buzzing with excitement as they look to see just how to harness the power these rivers hold. Number 6. The ocean's enigmatic abyss, the Twilight Zone. Between 650 and 3,500 feet, 198 and 1,067 meters, lies an ethereal realm below the surface of the ocean. It's a dark and cold landscape, untouched by. You are now descending into the Twilight Zone, where light wanes and mysteries abound. Embark on this journey into the unknown, where the ocean Twilight Zone beckons us with its bioluminescent charm, and explore the vast mysteries that lie beneath. The Ocean Twilight Zone project is a group of scientists trying to understand this oceanic zone's secrets. The Twilight Zone showcases nature's ingenuity. Since there is so little light, many creatures create their own light to attract food, like in Finding Nemo. While others use bioluminescence for defense, and other varieties have adapted counter-illumination to avoid being seen. According to some studies, scientists think the Twilight Zone may have more fish biomass than the rest of the ocean combined. The Twilight Zone is a critical part of the global climate process. Understanding it sheds light on the water, nutrients, and carbon cycles. Number 5. It's the world's largest thermostat. While we may not often think of the ocean as a climate superhero, it plays a remarkable role in maintaining Earth's temperature. Picture the sea as an enormous, heat-hoarding solar panel, and dissipating the sun's energy, especially in tropical waters along the equator. Meanwhile, the land and atmosphere help retain warmth, preventing it from escaping into space once the sun sets. But the ocean doesn't simply store heat like a giant, watery furnace. It's a master at sharing that warmth worldwide. Fun fact: almost all rainfall begins its journey as oceanic vapor. It's no wonder the tropics get so much rain, since this is where the ocean's heat absorption and evaporation peak. Moving away from the equator, the ocean's currents take center stage in shaping weather patterns. These currents are driven by surface winds, temperature differences, the Earth's rotation, and even the Moon's gravity tracing the coastlines. By acting as a conveyor belt, these currents transport warm water and precipitation from the equator toward the poles while bringing cold water back to the tropical regions to start the cycle all over. Without these oceanic currents, our world would be a realm of extremes, with scorching equatorial temperatures and icy polar chills, making a large portion of the Earth uninhabitable. Number 4. The ocean is richer than you. An estimated 20 million tons of gold is swirling within the depths of the ocean. However, before you start making plans for this fortune, know that it's not an easy cash grab. If it were, every government in the world would have already made a play for it. It's so difficult to access because the gold lurking in the ocean exists in minuscule concentrations on the scale of parts per trillion. To put it into perspective, each liter of seawater contains a mere 13 billionths of a gram of gold. If the gold was extractable and we could sell all that gold, we'd be talking mind-boggling figures, like Scrooge McDuck figures. But let's face it, nobody will be hauling in their retirement fund from the ocean anytime soon. Until a cost-effective method emerges, we'll just have to satisfy our golden dreams with tales of lost treasure and Hollywood stories. Despite the challenges, scientists and engineers are still exploring ways to extract gold from the ocean. One promising method involves using bacteria to dissolve the gold particles, making them easier to extract. However, this method is still in the experimental stage and has yet to be proven on a large scale. Another challenge is the environmental impact of extracting gold from the ocean. The process could potentially harm marine life and disrupt ocean ecosystems. As a result, any method of extracting gold from the ocean would need to be carefully studied and regulated to minimize its impact on the environment. So, while the idea of a vast ocean of gold may be tantalizing, the reality is much more complicated. For now, we'll have to settle for the occasional gold nugget found by lucky divers and the stories of lost treasure that continue to capture our imaginations. Number 3. Mystery boops. In 1997, researchers monitoring the ocean for volcanic activity in the southern Pacific with hydrophones almost 2,050.5 feet, 3,300 kilometers, apart picked up an extremely loud and perplexing sound. The sound became known as the bloop, leaving the scientific community awestruck and curious. The bloop sparked a multitude of conspiracies and theories as everyone tried to unravel the mystery. Some speculated that it was a classified underwater military exercise or the sounds of huge underwater ships. Others said it was giant cephalopods or undiscovered marine creatures. Teams placed more hydrophones for the next 8 years as they heard more frequent bloops. Eventually, they tracked the bloop, and it wasn't mythical beasts or covert technologies but something completely natural, an icequake. Number 2. The Coriolis effect is a real thing. When objects like air or water move across the Earth's surface, they appear to curve instead of moving in a straight line. This happens because different parts of the Earth's surface are spinning at different speeds. It's like the carousel effect on a much larger scale. In the northern hemisphere, objects moving northward seem to curve to the right, while in the southern hemisphere, they curve to the left. This deflection occurs because their speed relative to the surface changes as the objects move across the spinning planet. This apparent deflection is the Coriolis effect. The Coriolis effect has important implications. It influences global wind patterns, creating prevailing winds like the trade winds and westerlies. It also affects ocean currents and even airplane flight paths. Understanding the effect helps us navigate our planet's dynamic systems. Number 1. The ocean is a hoarder. Have you heard about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, GPGP? It's the biggest of the 5 plastic accumulation zones haunting our oceans, floating between Hawaii and California. Each year up to 2.66 million tons, 2.41 million metric tons, of plastic end up in the sea, and over half of that never sinks. This trash slowly travels until eventually joining the slow, swirling garbage vortex. The patch sprawls across an astonishing 0.62 million square miles, 1.6 million square kilometers, dwarfing Texas and France combined. Many companies are working to clean it up, but the amount added yearly makes it a never-ending battle. Luckily earlier this year, scientists in Australia say they discovered a mold that can break down plastic in 140 days. Hopefully, it can be put to good use. Thanks for watching.